right now. So it is recording. And I'm going to click admit all.
Here we go.
So everyone other than me, make sure you're short and brief.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hey,
Sharon.
Ren.
Hey, Jill. Hey, Corey.
Renee, your hair looks great.
Ray Holley's does not.
Remember Thing? You won't remember Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Paul. Hi, Alan. Long time no see. Hey, Jason, Scott, Milt. It's a good group.
Mm-hmm.
Hello again, Amy.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
I'm well. It's been so long.
It's the second time today. I love it.
Yeah. Yes.
Paul Lawson, how's the weather up there?
65 today.
Nice.
Nice.
Come on, Ray. Come on up. Come join us, buddy.
That's right.
Oh, Tom. Wow.
Michelle.
What's up, Paul?
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
While we're waiting a few minutes, if those of you would like to put in the chat, we're hoping to have a very active chat. And just so you know, this is being recorded. So just be careful what you put in the chat. But if you want to state your name, your Greek affiliation, and your graduation year, and anything else G-rated that you would like to put in there, that would be wonderful. So feel free to do.
This is great.
All right. We're getting quite a few. That's great. Okay, we'll give it just a minute before we'll get started.
Hi, Jim Hobbs. Rich. Hi, Rich. Sean.
You doing okay, Rena?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. Great.
Good.
We had a great activity at Bearings Bike Works the other night.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, it was for them. Their fundraiser, their annual fundraiser. It was fantastic.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, well, I think we'll go ahead and get started then. So, hello, everyone. Welcome and go Hatters. My name is Ray Holley, and it's an honor to serve as your MC and host for tonight's Zoom call. I'm thrilled to see so many of my fellow Stetson Greek alumni here, and for those of you in attendance in the audience who will be watching this at a later date and time, we are recording this hearing. Your presence speaks volumes about our shared dedication to supporting and strengthening the Greek experience at Stetson. Before we dive in, a couple of housekeeping items. First, this Zoom call is being recorded, so just be careful what you put into the chat. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the call. If you have any questions that you'd like answered, we would encourage you to use the chat feature rather than unmuting yourself. We have quite a few people that are here that will hopefully be able to answer your questions. So thank you in advance for your cooperation. As a proud Stetson alumnus, the Greek community holds a special place in my heart. I graduated in 1991, serving as president of Alpha Tau Omega and as a leader on the IFC Council of Presidents during my time as a student. Since then, I've stayed actively involved with Stetson, having served as president of the Alumni Board and on the university's Board of Trustees. Currently, I serve on the College of Arts and Sciences Advisory Board Stetson's Alpha Tau Omega Alumni Board, and most relevant for tonight, the Fraternity Sorority Life Advisory Committee, which is called the FSL Committee. I'm also a Stetson parent, with a special shout out to my daughter, Charlotte Holley, a proud member of Pi Beta Phi. I'm sure she'll thank me later for embarrassing her, but I couldn't resist, so I had to do it. I'm sorry, Chris. I'd like to applaud Stetson for its commitment to the Greek system, which you will hear a lot more about tonight. Many of you may not be aware, but Stetson created the FSL committee a couple of years ago for the purpose of improving and enhancing the Greek experience at Stetson. This committee is comprised of senior university leaders, faculty, student leaders, parents, and alumni. The FSL committee is charged with the task to provide future-focused guidance on Greek life, covering areas like operations, organizational development, physical structures, recruitment, risk management, and student success. This collaborative effort ensures that Greek life remains a vibrant and essential part of the Stetson experience. Several committee members are here tonight, and I want to thank them for their dedication and the positive strides that we're making together. It is also my pleasure to recognize some distinguished attendees from the university, including our very own University President, Chris Rolke, Rena Oroyo, Chief of Staff and Senior Development Officer, John Downey, Vice President of Campus Life and Student Success, and Amy Davies, the Executive Director of Alumni and Annual Giving, and many more that are here today. I just want to thank all of them for being here and for their continued support of the Greek community. So let me share just a few highlights about the state of Greek life at Stetson. Currently, 18% of the student body participates in Greek life. This number significantly dropped during COVID, and efforts continue to grow this number higher. And you'll hear about some of those efforts later in this call. The last academic year, the Greek community raised over $80,000 for charity and/or philanthropy. Semester retention within the Greek organizations among Greek students from the fall to the spring in 2024 was an impressive 96%, which is up from 90% from the previous year. All in all, Stetson honors and appreciates the many contributions that Greek life and its alumni bring to Stetson, and Stetson's ongoing effort and goal to move from a hidden gem to a national treasure. Now, it is my honor to introduce someone whose leadership has been instrumental in Stetson's growth and success. Known as the only university president who can hit a half-court basketball shot more than one time, his energy and vision continue to inspire us all. I would like to now please welcome President Chris Rolke. Go Hatters.
Go Hatters. Ray, that was a very generous introduction, and it just warms me to my core to see so many wonderful Hatters on the screen. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedules to remain committed to Greek life at Stetson University. I'm going to be very, very brief because you have some rich content that you're about to hear from some of my colleagues. I'm here to simply reassure each and every one of you on the screen that Stetson is deeply committed to having a vibrant Greek life on our campus. In fact, I would even go as far as to say it is central to our strategy moving forward as we take, as Ray said, Stetson from Florida gem to national treasure. At the core of that strategy is what we're calling relationship-rich education, and we're moving forward together. And we all know, just on this screen alone, that the relationships that you forge during your Greek affiliation, they are lifelong relationships, right? It's not just for the 4 years that you're spending at Stetson University, but they are lifelong relationships, powerful friendships, powerful networks, powerful connectors from one Stetson alum to another. And just anecdotally, just today, as I traverse the campus as I do every day, I go over to the Cub. I don't eat at the Cub, not because I don't like the Cub food. I do like it, but because I typically don't eat lunch. But I do traverse the Cub every day to sort of say hello to students and so on. And not one, not two, not three, but 4 fraternities and sororities were out tabling today, all for good causes, right? One was raising money for the neighborhood center here in the city of DeLand. Another was doing a canned food drive for the West Volusia Hunger Challenge and Food Insecurity Challenge. And other fraternities were also raising, and sororities were raising money for very, very good causes. So not only do we want our students at Stetson to have fun, we also want them to make a difference in the world, and our fraternities and our sororities absolutely help us to do that. So I know when you give me the microphone, it's hard to get it back, but I'm going to be very brief and say thank you again for staying engaged with Stetson on this very important initiative to strengthen Greek life at Stetson University. Thank you, Ray, and go Hatters!
Thank you, President Rolke. We really appreciate it. So my name is Renee DuBois, and I'm the Director of Fraternity Sorority Life here at Stetson. And I'm so excited to share some updates with everybody about how the community is doing with our current students. And I have to say, the enthusiasm on campus is amazing right now. The energy that our students have about Greek life is so contagious. There's so many positive things happening, and we'll have some students sharing what that looks like too here in a second. So first, I do want to give a couple of shout outs. Thank you, Ray, for hosting this tonight with us. We really appreciate your efforts to engage with our alums in the community. Also in the audience, we have my supervisor, Larry Carell Hughes, who's our Associate Vice President for Campus Life. He's also in the chat, as well as Jackson Dennis, who is our Residence Life Coordinator, who we'll hear about a little bit more later on today, who works specifically with our Greek students. So I want to give them some shout outs, but they're present tonight as well. So a couple of initiatives that we've been working on recently with our Greek students is bringing a lot of programming back and more energy on campus. So some of that looks like Greek Week. So we've been working really hard the past couple years to make Greek Week bigger on this campus and bringing back a bunch of events to happen. So for example, this year, two big things that we did for our Greek Week. One was a paint wars, where students were able to just have fun and throw paint at each other. It was very entertaining. Paint went everywhere. We made sure to tell the students to wear clothing that they knew would get paint on it. And they had such a fun time just enjoying one another's presence and engaging in some fun. Another event that we did was trivia at the Abbey. And if you don't know what the Abbey is, it's a bar downtown. And so it was really cool to be able to do trivia downtown in the community, but also show the students that they could have alcohol at events and it be okay and fun. And so letting the students be able to do that was really cool to see happen. And we packed the Abbey, and there wasn't one seat left in there. Like, our Greek students showed up. So it was really cool not only to see that, but also to help a local bar downtown. Some other initiatives that we're working on right now is our new member leadership series. So we started this initiative this semester where we asked students who are new members that joined just this fall to participate in a 7-week leadership series. And this series was to help the students gain some insight into leadership, since they're the future of our chapters and future leaders here at Stetson. Our graduate assistant, Allison Springstead, who's also in the room tonight and a member of Kappa Alpha Theta, she's been able to facilitate the series, and it has been amazing. We have 17 new members who have participated and engaged in this series and showed their commitment and dedication to leadership. And it's been amazing to see their excitement in this program. And actually next week here on campus, or this week, oh my gosh, it's already this week. This Thursday, they'll be presenting some action plans where they're showing their ideas of how to help continue to improve the Greek community. So anybody is welcome this Thursday. If you happen to be on campus, we'll be in Lee's Garage at 5:30, and the students will be sharing those action plans. And we're so excited. We even, during this leadership series last week, had some alums come back and share their leadership experience with the students. And it was amazing to have those 5 alums join us too, to talk about how Greek life not only helped them during campus, but also in their careers. So it was really nice to see that take place. Also, I want to point out, we're growing our Stetson Greek community. So we are currently in the process of adding a Latina sorority to our campus, Lambda Theta Alpha. We are very excited, and this coming spring semester, so spring 2025, we'll be having them establish and charter on our campus with our first new member class. And this is so exciting to be adding them onto our campus community and being able to provide another multicultural sorority here on campus. So we're super excited about that, and we'll send more information in the spring semester about how to welcome them to our community and with a specific date where we'll be able to celebrate. So we're very excited. We're also working with our national Panhellenic Divine Nine organizations, working on bringing more of them back to campus. So in the past, we did have a couple of organizations, and we're hoping to bring them back here onto Stetson's campus, and we're working with those national organizations to make that happen. We don't have any target dates at this time, but we are moving forward in conversations, and we're very excited for the future and the potential of having them back on our campus. Other things that we're working on, thank you to Amy and her team in alumni engagement, is we're working better to have things for our alumni and getting you all more involved with what's happening right now in our community. So things like tonight, making this being able to happen, we're so grateful for everybody to be here and for those that are watching afterwards, because it shows that you do truly and genuinely care about what's going on in our Greek community. So thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you to Amy and her team. Also, we're working on the Greek newsletter. So hopefully you're checking your emails. We've been able to send a couple of newsletters. We're trying every semester to send updates on what's happening so you can stay up to date with what's happening in our Stetson Greek community. Also, I don't know if you've checked out the Stetson magazine, but I want to give a shout out to some Lambda Chi's. There was a great article in the magazine that came out. So the university is wanting to make sure that everybody is knowing how much Greek is impacting our students and our alumni. So there's some really awesome articles that are taking place. So with this positive momentum, I do want to hand it over right now to our IFC and Panhellenic presidents, who will talk a little bit more about what's happening specifically with the students. So Tommy, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Renee. I'm Tommy. I'm a management major in the School of Business. I'm from Medfield, Massachusetts. I'm a Sigma Nu here at Stetson, and I'm also the IFC president. Not for too much longer. We're about to have a new exec pretty soon. In the room I'm in, my risk management guy for IFC is here too, Adam. Busting a move right now. Won't put him on screen. But in IFC, we've done some pretty fun stuff this year. Talking about recruitment, we switched from what we did last year to make it a more hybrid system, not in like hybrid as in Zoom, but as in a model where all the P&Ms visit every house, but also the chapters are able to throw their own events with the weeks leading up to recruitment and also during recruitment week. So over the span of 3 weeks, our chapters hosted 30 different events to engage with potential new members. And the hybrid model was successful. You know, we had more people bids handed out as well as more bids accepted. So we'll be using this model moving forward. And based on all the reaction I got from IFC president or from chapter presidents and whatnot, it did seem that it pleased everyone. We also had a successful bid day where we had all the chapters on the green, and we had the new members come from Palm Court running to their new chapters, making a public showing of membership. That was pretty fun. IFC also hosted more events for the community, including a water polo tournament and a volleyball tournament. And this year, IFC really focused on having real conversations with chapters around risk and how we as a community think about risk mitigation. We are proud of our chapters for showing up to those conversations and wanting to move forward together as a community to make smart decisions, recognizing that the actions of just one organization can impact the whole community. And I just want to say I'm really proud of the work IFC did, and I'm very happy to be looking forward to seeing what the new IFC exec looks like next semester and what they're going to be able to do next year. We're going to hear from Taylor, the Panhell president, next. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Taylor. I am the Panhellenic president. I am a double major, double minor in basically all business aspects. And so on behalf of Panhellenic, we are doing super, super well. Most of our chapters have capped at their numbers this year, meaning they cannot take any more new members this semester. This is a huge show that our community is growing and we are retaining members, which is the most important part of this. We will reevaluate the total in the spring for Panhellenic and then determine what we can do from there. Our council focused a lot this year on risk management and service. Not to brag on my team a little bit, but this was the first time in 4 years that we have had a full board of the Panhellenic, and I was so happy to have that, to have all those girls on my team to be in charge. And working with them was an experience I will forever remember, and I got really close with a lot of them and never would have had that experience if it weren't for this. One of my members, Sarah, she had made an event for the Linus Project where anybody from the Panhellenic community could come and make blankets, and then we donated them to the Linus Project, which was super, super cool. And it was a great and amazing idea that Sarah had and did. And it was just, I unfortunately was not able to make that event. I don't remember what I was doing, but considering how busy I am, I was probably doing something important. But it really was just a fabulous event, an amazing idea, and the feedback that we have received on behalf of Panhellenic from the sororities about wanting more risk-related training and resources has been really, really good. Panhellenic helped provide Narcan training for the members. I think every single chapter did that, and then there was even further training for that, which is really cool. We have shared resources with chapters about safety on Panhellenic and focused on social media sharing information about alcohol safety. There's even a safe self-defense class Thursday. Yeah, that it will be happening that anybody can show up to and do if they would like. And that's kind of it on behalf of Panhellenic. We have really just been doing super, super well, and I am so proud of everything that is happening. But like Tommy said, he and I are both unfortunately not going to be here for too much longer, as we both will be graduating in the spring and a new exec will be taking place. But I will now hand it off to John Downey. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Taylor. I'm going to embarrass Taylor and Tommy for just a moment. The reason why those organizations are doing well is because we did get top-notch leadership. You can really tell the quality of an organization and how things are going by who actually steps up to lead these organizations, and they've just done a fantastic job. I wasn't sure it could happen this quickly, to be honest with you, but it has. And Tommy, I'll really embarrass you because I was meeting with another fraternity member from a different fraternity, not a Sigma Nu, and we weren't meeting about Greek life at all, but he mentioned what a great job you were doing and how you've made it cool to be back with IFC. So it's not easy to step outside your fraternity or sorority and do the work that needs to be done for the whole organizational structure and not just yours. But we really appreciate that. And by the way, both of them are seniors, and I'm sure they're looking for jobs, guys. So pay attention here. I want to just say thank you to all of you for being here. Really appreciate it. I think this has been a long time coming. We'll do it again if you think we could get more folks, no question. I'll go anywhere you ask me to go. If you have 10 or more alumni, anywhere it is, I'll drive, fly, whatever it takes to get there. I did this, I offered this actually previously, and Jill Jinks took me up on it, and I ended up in Atlanta. I was kind of hoping for Jacksonville first time to go because Atlanta's a little further away, but I will go anywhere you want to talk about what we're trying to do here to get Greek life back where it should be. We're right now stuck at around 18% of the student body. We have a goal to grow to 30%. It's what we call 30 for 30. Anyone who watches ESPN knows what I'm talking about. Anyone who watches ESPN and says they don't know what I'm talking about, you actually are not a fan of sports. But it's 30 for 30. We're trying to get to 30% of the student body to be Greeks by 2030. It's a crazy goal to set right now, as Chris or anybody in the leadership team for the university will tell you. There's fewer students attending college, period. Just fewer students choosing to go to college, fewer men than women. And we really need to grow the fraternities because the sororities have Panhell and they don't listen to me, and they put these quotas in place and you can't go above that. Haven't been able to convince them for 40 years. I don't suspect I'll convince them today. And if you go, and I challenge you to do this, go onto Google and Google what's happening in fraternities and sororities on college campuses. The first 20 things that will come up are negative. So we're really going against the headwinds right now, but we honestly believe we can do it. We've got some momentum, so we're just going to keep plugging away, and we're going to get there. And with your help, it will be a lot easier. So just a couple of things that have changed that really needed to change. The first is just the organizational structure. Renee introduced herself, and she's actually able to say a director. This is the first time we've had a full-time director where their job is entirely Greek life. That has just not happened previously. It used to be that it was 60% Greek life and 40% clubs and organizations. So this is the first time we've had a full-time. We've also not have a real true office of fraternity and sorority life. This is the first time we've had that. We added a 5th residence life coordinator. You all have had Jackson introduce. He's in the chat. He welcomed everybody. Next year, that position will move out of residential living and learning and into fraternity and sorority life. So in just 2 years, we'd have gone from a 60% of one full-time position to 2 full-time positions. And that's because we know we're going to grow, we have to grow, we want to grow, and that's what we're after. So I'm pretty pleased with all that, and Renee's doing a great job. I want to acknowledge Larry Carell Hughes as well, because I felt under a lot of pressure when I arrived here. Any trustee will tell you that the first, second, and third thing I was asked about by trustees, alumni, and even my own leadership team was about Greek life. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to get it back? How can we get this to be back to where it once was? So I challenged Larry in turn, and he has more than exceeded my expectations. So I mentioned about the organizational structure. That's been happening. By July of 2025, again, we'll have 2 full-time positions in place. Again, our strategic goal is to get to 30% by 2020. We're chartering new national Panhellenic organizations to help us do that. So historically African-American sororities, and then also Latina and Latino organizations. We've also been removing some restrictions that some of them were perceived and some of them were true. For example, we're really pushing Greek life in our summer orientations. Our ambassadors are talking openly about Greek life and and especially if they're participating, they're able to talk about that. So we've done a much better job with that on our tours and so forth. In summer orientation, I personally get an opportunity to speak in front of every student and every parent. And one of the things I promote to them is that if they want to be successful and get through their first year and into their second year, the best thing they could possibly do to make that happen is to join a fraternity or sorority. It is the #1 thing that a student can do to guarantee their movement from a freshman to a sophomore at Stetson is to join a fraternity or sorority. Nothing has a greater retentive value than doing just that. So I've heard some people say on occasions, well, is their university really pro-Greek? Well, if you want to retain and graduate students, why would you not be pro-Greek? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I've done this at other universities where we had to go and just kind of repair a few things, get them moving, and then you'll gain traction and it'll go. Jill Jenks and I talk a lot about this idea of a flywheel. If you've ever read Good to Great, it's this idea of, if you look at the old planes that they used to have when they had to go out and turn that propeller, and you just keep turning and turning and turning. It's just, at some point you feel like your arm's about to fall off, and then all of a sudden it clicks, and there you are. You jump into plane and you're at 5,000 feet before you know it, and you're flying, and it's working on its own. We are still turning the propeller. We're not off the ground yet, but we'll get there. And when we get off the ground, it'll just work itself, and that magic will happen, just as it had many years ago that many of you had experienced. We've also changed some of our philosophy around housing occupancy, and I'll give Larry a lot of credit for this. It used to be that you had to have certain numbers of students in the chapter house. If you didn't, you either got fined or we put unaffiliated students in there. It was nickel and diming. It was foolish. It didn't really work. Didn't gain us much money at all. Secondly, really nobody won when you put a first semester student into a fraternity or sorority house and they were unaffiliated. It was just a foolish idea. It did not work. If you could imagine who was the most pissed off, it was usually the mom of the guy who was in a fraternity house that they weren't a part of, right? So why would you start out by making everybody angry? And then the prediction that I had in my interview was, I can guarantee I know what happens. Anytime something goes wrong, the unaffiliated blame the affiliates, and the affiliated blame the unaffiliates. And of course, that's exactly what was happening. So we stopped doing that. We do now have an expectation that you'll have 14 students in the chapter house. So it's about, was it 70% full for this year, goes up to 85%, then to 95%. Again, no fines involved with this at all. We're just trying to get the chapters to do something that some have always been doing. And you can shout out when we get to the Q&A time, if yours is one of them, to actually have the fraternities and sororities require their students to have at least 1 year where they live in the chapter house. That ought to be something. It used to be that you would want to be in there. Now, honestly, they're not the best things, not the best spaces on campus for sure. I can acknowledge that, but we're improving them. We're constantly working at it, which does lead us to the kind of the last thing that we're doing. And I kind of hesitate to talk about it, but we do have plans, a housing master plan that does include a new residence hall in 2026, and we have no date for a Greek village eventually. But that's far off into the distant future, and that's important for you to hear. What I want you to hear loud and clear is that Stetson has a plan for the future, and of course it involves fraternities and sororities. It always will, and we want to grow it, and we want to have a space that we can call our own that's just for fraternities and sororities. But that's a while off. It's many years away. In the meantime, we continue to need investment into chapter houses themselves. So we are moving in a direction where they're not residence halls, spaces, they're chapter houses. But there's some of them, if you come and visit, you can see for yourself, they need a little work. They need a little TLC. And what I don't want people to say is, well, I'll wait till the Greek village is being built and then I'll help there. That's too far off into the future. So it's in our horizons, but it's not close, and we need your help to help with the chapter houses right now. So I'll stop there. I think that's everything that I wanted to say, and I know you sent me the script, Renee, and I did read it. I just cannot remember who I'm supposed to turn it back to. If you could help me out here, that would be great. Is it Ray? I got it. Okay, Ray, back over to you, and thank you again, everybody.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay, to trying being respectful of everybody's time. There is so much more that we could share and discuss, and we're going to be saving that for another call, which we're hoping to do in the spring. But I want to thank Renee for her leadership, and to all of our speakers for their valuable insights, and a big thank you just to each of all of you that have attended tonight. As you know, Greek life is a cornerstone of the Stetson experience, fostering lifelong friendships, leadership skills, and community that last a lifetime. Through the collective efforts of alumni like you, we're ensuring that this tradition thrives for future generations. As we recap tonight, let's celebrate the exciting initiatives and transitions that are strengthening our Greek community. From improving recruitment to supporting student ownership, we're paving the way for a healthier, more vibrant Greek system. But we need your help, especially your time and talent. And I would encourage you to get in touch with your chapters that you're affiliated with and offer your advice and your internships, anything that you can do to help bolster the Greek system. So please stay tuned for our next Zoom call, which we're hoping to do in the spring semester, where you'll receive even more updates and opportunities to engage. Your dedication and involvement make all the difference. Thank you again for being here. And as always, go Hatters!